SGA debates. We're going to get started. We're going to start by giving every candidate a few seconds to talk about themselves and introduce themselves. We'll start with Jerry on that side and go down.
Just personal introductions?
Sorry?
Just like personal introductions?
Yeah, just personal introductions, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Jerry Shaw. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm a computer science major. My leadership experience on this campus have been involved in a number of student organizations, namely robotics, badminton, and I've been working with student boards and school administration on a number of different projects. And I'm running for president. Speak close to the mic.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello? Hello everyone. My name is Electoral. Most people know me as Moderator. I'm running for the president of the Student Government Association. I've been involved in various organizations on our campus. I served as the president of the SGA of ASO for 1 year. I also served on the union board as vice president for a year and a half.
Hello everyone, my name is Anze, a lot of you know me as Leo as well. This is my third year in computer engineering and IT. I've been working with SGA for the past 2 years. I started as a senator and I'm currently the vice president of student life. And I've also worked with a few offices on campus. I'm a resident advisor, I've been an orientation leader, peer mentor, I've worked on a student committee survey. And I've worked on a few student orgs before joining SGA.
Hi everyone, my name is Khadija Nesbitt. I am a second-year architectural engineering major. Currently, I'm the Black Student Union president and also the vice president of RHA. Something cool about me, I like to practice and speak Korean in my free time, and I really enjoy meeting and learning about new people and new cultures and new things. Other things that I do on campus, I'm currently a member of the President's Student Advisory Council, or PSAC. And I've been working with administration on the current math grant issue and other things on campus.
Thank you. We're going to get started with the first question that's to all candidates. We'll start with Khadija and go down that way. And if at any point you want me to repeat the question, please let me know. The question is, as president of SGA, you will have to meet with the university president and the board of trustees regularly to discuss student perspectives on key university issues. Why are you qualified to represent the entire student body to get a sense of student thoughts and opinions? Sorry, before you answer, you have 60 seconds to answer this question.
Why I feel like I'm most qualified, I have been to a board of trustee meeting, and with being on PSAC, I have met with the president. So I kind of see a layout of how things are kind of going at the school, how they handle the meetings. I also have a very good way of reaching out to people. I like to find out about new things. I'm very proactive, so it's not just like guesses that I use to find out what the worst issues are on campus. I like to go around, ask students, and communicate. So I feel like I'd be a good candidate because I'll make sure to get like everyone's opinion and not just the ones that I happen to hear from like my best friends or whatever. But also, I am very good at communicating and speaking with higher administrations. I've done so far this year.
Thank you.
For me, I would like to start by saying I've had a good share of meetings and conversations with the president and the provost personally, working through SGA or the student speak survey and multiple other occasions. What I bring to the table today is actually my experience with the students rather than with the president. So when we're talking about how are we going to represent our students, when we're talking to the administration, I think it's very important to know I've had experience as a resident advisor, orientation leader, peer mentor, and many other things, where I've had the experience and the professional training to listen and reflect on what students want and be able to act upon what those needs are. And I've been working on that for the past 3 years. And I've had a lot of conversations with the president and the administration of IT, whether it's the vice presidents of each department. And as the vice president of student life, we were able to take those conversations and bring ideas to life. And I plan to continue this forward when working with the president of the provost.
Thank you.
Hello. Once again, for those over here, my name is Wale. So, why am I the best fit to carry across student problems to the president. Was that your question, Anoopa?
Yeah, why are you the best qualified to represent the entire student body?
So, for those that know me, they know that I've been involved in a variety of student organizations. By that I simply mean that I've been involved in small student organizations and big student organizations. So while I was president of ASO, there is nothing you need more than to relate to the members of the organizations. And as president, we hear a lot of information from your members about what's going on in the IIT campus. Also, I'm a very active participant in intramural sports as well as varsity athletics, where I play varsity soccer. And in intramurals, you have an opportunity to meet a very diverse group of IIT students that participate in whatever events that they're doing. And for those that have played with me, they know that I always ask questions that are critical to, Illinois Tech as an institution. I ask questions about whether they like the service they're getting, and as well as if there's something we can do to make it better. And that is just my way of relating to people. As for talking to the president, I feel like I have...
Sorry, Molly, I'm going to have to break you off. Have a chance.
Thank you.
Hi, once again, my name is Jerry. One of the reasons that actually drove me into running for this position was because that I do believe that I'm very well qualified to represent the student body's interests. And that's not because I'm going to claim that I have more student org involvement or more awareness of every person or every student on campus. But one of the reasons that really drove me to run for this position was because of the number of complaints and vocal protests that certain students have voiced against the current administration through outlets such as TechNews and through various online outlets. And seeing many what I would deem questionable behaviors from the administration, especially the higher levels of the administration, it really made me want to come and reach a point where I can directly be in conversation with people who can actually make a difference, being the president of the exec board. Now, with the highest levels of the school administration, the president and the student advisory council, I can't claim that much experience, but I do have a different type of experience in that I work with a number of other departments on campus, such as College of Engineering, KE Sports Administration, and the College of Undergraduate and Graduate Admissions. So I have a different perspective on what the administration is and how they work, and given that it's a bureaucratic system that we work in, I believe the wider perspective is also important.
Thank you, Chair. So the next question is, a large part of the student body at IIT feels that SGA's connection with the student body is lacking, and they feel that the organization doesn't truly represent them. Do you think that it is important for SGA to consistently reach out to students on campus and let them know that they're an available resource, or do you feel that it is up to the students to take it up as their responsibility to find and reach out to SGA, and if they're not making the effort to be informed, then they're not going to get the resources? We'll start with Wale, go down this way, and Jeffrey.
I believe it's the SGA duty to reach out to students so they can get involved.
I have to agree with Wally on this. It is something that we talk about almost every day as an executive board. We talk about it and everything. That it is absolutely the duty of SGA to reach out to the students. But I would also like to share with you a vision that is a little bit far from us right now. But if we actually continue to carry on this idea of how much we need to be out there with the students, whether it's on the bridge, having senators representing our student organizations, continuing conversations as town halls and everything related to SGA being out there for the students. My hope, my vision is that one day we're going to reach a level where the students know SGA so much that when they think of an idea, in an instant, okay, we're going to talk to SGA, we're going to do this. So there's no longer that gap between SGA and the students. We're actually creating this bubble where we're working together, and not just us pushing for them, they're pushing for us as well.
I also agree. I believe it's on SGA to put themselves out there to the students, so the students know that they are there. SGA is literally the voice of the student body to the IIT administration, and at other schools, they represent the students. So when anything happens and the students have issues or concerns or questions, they bring them to SGA, and SGA makes things happen. In the current situation with the MAP grant at other schools, it is SGA that is getting the students together to go up to Springfield and rally for them, for their MAP grant. So I believe that it's important that SGA reaches out to the students and lets them know that they are there and lets them know that they care and that they are involved and they want to hear their issues and their concerns or even their suggestions on how to make the campus better. It falls on SGA so that way the students feel confident to come to SGA and know that if they go to SGA, things will get solved.
Let's repeat the original question.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the question was that a large part of the student body at IIT feel that there's a disconnect between SGA and their needs. Do you feel that it is SGA's responsibility to continue to students and make them aware that they're a resource, or do you think that the students need to seek them out as a resource?
Okay, so after three different voices supporting the current status quo and what SGA has been doing, I'm going to have to throw in a dissenting voice and say that no. Currently, what SGA is doing is obviously not working very well. Also, students wouldn't feel the disconnect, which is why I would suggest if I were to become the president, I would instead of trying to actively reach out and ask students what they want, I would just be quiet and listen. And if you look at what's been happening in the past few years, there are very vocal examples of what has been happening in the student body that actually have been posted on the SGA website. For example, when the 3-year meal plan was removed, there were a number of petitions on the SGA website to have that back. And a few years before that, when it became mandatory for students living on campus to buy one of the more expensive meal plans, there was an outburst of comments online on the SGA website petitioning somebody to do something about the situation. And nothing ever got solved. Here we are sitting again next semester. There's only the Hot 175 and Hot 14, Hot 19 plans available for students. That's just one of many examples that are different now. For example, Keating Sports has been needing renovation for a very, very long time. And if you look online, if you look on TechNews, if you look at various online like student bodies, social media, you'll see that this voice has been out there for sports facilities. Every spring break you see complaints of why is the gym closed so early when we can go to the gym. And these are all problems that students are already actively and vocally complaining about, and no one's really taking any action from the student's perspective. So it's natural that there is a disconnect.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. So the next set of questions is going to be to each individual candidate. You will have about 90 seconds to answer these questions. The first question is for Jerry. In the candidate packet, you were asked, what is one thing SGA is doing well and how would you continue or improve on it? And you chose not to answer the question, saying no comment. Can you tell us more about why you didn't answer the question and if you will choose to answer that now?
Well, I don't feel that I was entirely qualified to answer that question. There's a lot of things that SGA obviously does that I'm probably not aware of, but there's also a lot of things that I would very much want to see SGA do, which is why I'm running for this position. So obviously the first thing that I have to do when I'm elected is to figure out what exactly is on the SGA agenda and go from there. So when that question was asked for me during the candidate stage, when I'm still trying to scope out the whole scale of the organization, I don't feel I was uniquely qualified to answer that fully.
If I can ask a follow-up question to that, you're only looking at the perspective of being on SGA, but as a student, what do you feel that SGA is doing well or can improve on?
Well, that's kind of the reason why I'm running, is because I believe SGA could use some improvement. And I say that based on a number of the school students I've talked to. I know I'm only currently involved in two, but because of the size and scale of the components I'm involved with, I've been working with many students on campus regarding financial issues, regarding reservation and travel issues. And basically every time SGA has been brought up in the conversation, it was not in an entirely positive way. So that's kind of why I really wanted to run for this and see for myself what the deal is. And that's why I wanted to withhold my comment on what SGA really is until I got into it and saw for myself.
Thank you. The next question is to Khadija. Your question is, you're highly involved in other student organizations around campus, which give you a unique perspective to how SGA communicates with other organizations. That being said, as indicated in your candidate packet, you have never been involved in SGA. Some students may be concerned by your lack of experience in SGA and that it will hinder you from accomplishing your duties to the best of your ability. How familiar are you with how SGA works and what can you do to address all of the apprehensions students may have about your candidacy?
So to address that question, Previously, I was not very involved with SGA, mainly because I'm involved in a whole lot of things. Actually, my first year, it's my second year here, and my first year I wasn't really aware about SGA on campus. That could have been a combination of how they represent themselves on campus my first year here, or it could also have been a representation of the fact that it was my first year and I was just trying to catch up and get on the right path with my grades in my schooling. So yeah, I haven't been involved prior to, but because I realized that as a problem, I have been talking with Raul and Sparno and Soren, who are all members of SGA. I talked with Jay before he passed about SGA and things that they have done. When he told me about like when the meetings and everything were, unfortunately it clashed with my schedule. But I made a point to ask and question about things that were happening in SGA meetings, what kind of concerns and things they were tackling. A lot of times RHA and SGA were working together, so that gave me a good idea to see like where they go, how they address certain issues, what issues they address. And then I continue to ask questions to Raul and them because I wanted to know more about what SGA does. And I have learned a whole lot because I didn't know a lot of the things that SGA had done prior to me coming and to become a candidate for president. So to address the students' apprehension, I have been trying to learn more and more about SGA, and I will continue to learn more. It won't be just if I do become president, oh, well, I got here and I think I'll just do whatever. I will continue to learn more on how we've been doing things, see what are good and that can stay, and then see where I can improve on those things, because SGA has some great points, and I want those things to continue, but there's also things that everyone's pointed out need to be changed, and we can work on together.
Thank you. Thanks. So the next question is to Wole. In your candidate packet, you outlined a few proposed methods to improve SGA's relationship with the student body and student organizations on campus. Some of the methods that you outlined are already in place and are being carried out. Do you feel that your perceived disconnect with SGA in the way it's currently working will inhibit your ability to accomplish your goals and to create effective change? Or on the other hand, how do you think it's going to help you?
So, in my outline about how I'm going to help SGA improve, I mentioned some ways that I'm going to work towards that, right? But before I can get to that particular point, we have to sort of get over the major problem, which is the disconnect between the SGA and students. And for that to happen, I believe that I do have plans in place for that to happen. So can I talk about those?
We have 90 seconds total.
Okay. So for SGA to bridge the disconnect between the organization and the students in the IIT campus, I believe that we can do one thing. And that one thing is to make student organizations liable for involvement in SGA with their members. By that, I simply mean that when student organizations need to get approval, they come to SGA. But after that, there's no relationship between student organizations and SGA. If you set a standard or student organization require the members to also give us feedback to be the voice that we need from the IIT community, I think that's a way that we can bridge that disconnect between SGA and the students. And when we bridge that disconnect, then we can work to focus on the other problem, which will be handled by the Senate and the other members of the executive board.
Thank you. Next question is to Hamza. You have many years of experience working within SGA, and that gives you a different perspective. But how do you think your perceived bias of looking from the SGA perspective for such a prolonged period of time will affect you when you're approached by students who have never had a positive experience with SGA or who don't see things the same way that you do?
Thank you for the question. So this marks my 7th semester in IIT, so I'm currently a 4th year student, and I've been involved with SGA for the past 2 years only. So not enough, but it's fair to say that I've had my experience of looking at SGA from the outside, which brought me to the decision 2 years ago to actually want to be involved, because I was able to see a lot of potential in a student org like SGA and the things that we can do. I was inspired by a few thoughts that we can accomplish a lot, but I was also surrounded by all the ideas of SGA is not doing much for us, SGA is not representing us properly, and SGA is lacking this problem and that problem, and we need them to hear our voices. And that is the reason that I actually joined in. Now when you argue that in those past 2 years I've been involved in SGA entirely, That is correct. I've been giving a lot of my time and devotion for SGA, but I still have other positions where I listen to students all the time, and they come to me as the Vice President of Student Life with all the ideas and concerns. And it is our job at SGA to actually take those concerns and transfer them into projects and ideas. And we're currently working on multiple of those ideas. So a lot of my efforts are actually reaching out to those students through the town halls, our committee on the bridge, and every other push out to actually reach out to those students who are biased against SGA or need a change to become happening.
Thank you. With that, I would like to give every candidate about 1 minute of closing remarks for anything they want to say to the student body before we end the president section. We can start with Jerry.
Just general closing remarks?
60 seconds.
Okay, well, I guess I feel that my voice in this debate has been rather unique because I seem to be the only one who's willing to speak out against the status quo. We started this debate by saying that there is a perceived disjoint between SGA and the student body, and that something is obviously not working with the current way that the SGA is functioning. And I believe that as a virtual outsider who has not had the bias of being part of SGA for a long time, or being intimately involved with leaders of SGA for a long time prior, I'm uniquely in a position to actively change the administration, the way current SGA is currently run, as opposed to supporting and telling ourselves that we are doing a good job and we should just keep proceeding with what we do. I'm very willing to, first of all, understand what exactly is going on with the organization, and to make any drastic change or small change, wherever it may be, that is necessary to put us on the right course.
Thank you.
So, first of all, my presence on this stage embodies the very strength that IIT shows. IIT's greatest strength is not in its academic work, but in its people. Our people are from some of the most diverse backgrounds in the world, and I believe that we should embody every single one of the students. Now, the first question we should ask ourselves: Are we embodying our diverse population? The second question we should ask is: What is the purpose of SGA? We talk about SGA being a liaison between the students and administrators, but the first thing we need to do is bridge the disconnect between SGA and the students. The moment we do that, we can begin to answer the question: Is SGA embodying our diverse population? Thank you.
So I would like to open everybody's eyes to one specific idea that I have. If you look at us right now and the things that we're saying, we're hardly disagreeing on most of the stuff, right? We're here to help improve the student experience on campus. And we're here sharing the same visions towards that. It might differ in a few technical issues on how we can approach it, but we're essentially going for the same thing. So what I want you to ask yourself right now is, when you look at the four of us, knowing that we're presenting the same ideas, knowing that we're going for the same goals, who is in the best fit position to be able to carry those goals and carry them forward and share them with the administration and push them to make them actually things that come to life, rather than just ideas that we're discussing between each other today and we never see them come true. My experience so far would be a huge supporting for me with the administration, with the students, with my time at IIT. And I have the devotion, the passion, and the drive to do a lot for SGA, and that goes with my commitment for the past 2 years. And I also would like to highlight that I'm very open for those ideas that we're discussing. It doesn't mean that I'm very exclusive to my thought. Everything I'm hearing today, everything I hear every day, I'm very open to taking on as that my personal project, once I believe that there's a change, a positive change that can come out from those ideas. So the question is, who is the best to carry on those ideas to success?
Thank you. I'd like to say that I sincerely want SGA to be the force to be reckoned with, like it is at so many other schools, to be the embodiment of what the students' issues and concerns and thoughts are, and to be able to advocate for our students when we think that we're not being advocated for. And like everyone else has said, we all have similar ideas, we all have similar ways of what we want to see change with SGA. So it's really up to you all to decide which one you think is even better. I think regardless of who you choose, everyone here will work and listen to everyone else to get great ideas to come to life on SGA, because we all want the same goal for SGA to be better. But I'd like to say that I personally feel that I'm very, very involved in a lot of different things, and I'm very, very open to a lot of different people, and I love listening and hearing and working for people that have issues, because I want everyone's issues to be solved if I have this way of solving it. And I want everyone here to know that, you have the power to make IIT a better place. If you have something you want to change on this campus, you yourself have the power, and I want SGA to help you, regardless of who you pick, to have that empowerment to do great things on this campus. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to have 5 minutes of questions from the audience. If you have questions to specific candidates, you can come up to the microphone right here.
Hey team, good work being up here. I'm proud of you all. What are your plans for empowering student self-financing? I think that's student businesses. We have all these problems, math grant issues, funding education. Tuition's going up every year. We can expect that, but how can we as students start generating our own revenue to cover the cost of attending these places? What will you do to help that happen?
Is there an order where you're answering it?
I think anyone who wants to speak first can go. You don't all have to answer the question.
You all don't have to answer. You don't have to answer, it's fine. You do, it's fine.
But there will be about a minute limit on anyone who wants to speak.
Okay, so I'll answer that question again. So I believe that one of the most important ways that we can help students self-finance is by giving them an opportunity to work. By working, we don't mean doing like mundane jobs, but giving them an opportunity to be connected in internships and co-ops. The reason why I was able to pay my fees for this semester was because I did a co-op for 7 months, and with the money I was able to pay off what I did for this semester. If you can connect students with opportunities where they can get paid for the work they're doing, then they'll be able to make enough money to finance their education. So increasing the career prospects of students at IIT should be at the very core of whoever is running for SGA president, because the moment you can increase the career prospects, then you can increase the opportunity to self-finance themselves.
So you can't decide, I'll just go. Alright, so to answer your question, I'd have to think about that more, because I don't know, besides, jobs here on campus for students, what else that the school would allow us to do and what is already in place. But I'd like to see, me personally, I like the idea that so many people here are talented and have different things they're good at doing. So I'd like to see us work together on and work on our talents. So if you're able to make something, then you should be having an avenue to be able to sell what you make and students to support you. Or if you're good at photography, we should be able to call you and say, hey, I need pictures for an event, we'll give you this amount. I know you have a couple of DJs on campus that come and do events and they are able to work with student organizations. So I wonder if we could expand on that and find a way for students to use their talents on campus and, try to make money for what they're already good at and already able to do, maybe back at home. So I'd have to still think about that and work on that, but that's a general idea of what I thought of when you asked that question.
So I'd like to be a little more specific. On the go right now, I was able to think of 4 ideas for you that we can institutionally actually try to push on, so we can improve our way to try your vision, right? The main idea is what Wanda talked about, internships or co-ops. Those are, of course, a huge support for our students to be able to finance themselves and support themselves out there, and are important for your future career and everything. But that being said, we all suffer every day to get that internship and to start somewhere and get that experience that we need to get out there. Which brings me to my second point, which is on-campus jobs and opportunities. We need to be able to highlight and make those opportunities visible for a lot of students. As an RA and other positions, a lot of people come to me and be like, hey Leo, what position can I work? What's available? I wish I could give them the answer, okay, these 5 positions are available right now, but it's not always like that. So we actually need to be a lot more visible on that to provide those opportunities to our students. Third,
Thank you, Leo. We'd like to move on to the next question.
Do we not have any time left? Do we not have any time left for this question?
We need to move on. We need to address more questions.
All right.
Good afternoon. My question was initially directed to Jerry, but I can open it to everyone. Maybe Jerry can start with the first answer. So I'm hearing a lot of things along the lines of this is wrong, SGA is wrong, something needs to be fixed, something obviously is not working. You are called to be representing SGA and to be talking from the point of view of SGA. I'd like to hear what are a few things, concrete things that you are proud of, what are the accomplishments from SGA that you know of and that you're proud of?
Could you repeat the last part of that? What I know of and I'm proud of?
Yes. A few accomplishments from SGA, a few things that SGA has done in the past year that you're proud of.
Well, like I said, I didn't run for this position because I'm particularly proud of anything that SGA has done in the past few years. I've run for this position because of the number of concerns I've heard about SGA for the past few years. And don't get me wrong, I'm not coming to this position inherently thinking that SGA must be an equal student organization that can do anything right. I'm coming here with the perception that a lot of people think that that is the case. Now, this isn't my first rodeo. This isn't the first time where I've come from a position where I think the administration is doing something wrong and try to fix the entire situation. I'll give you a concrete example. Last semester, Keating Sports decided to revoke the rights of student organizations to reserve court space for a long time and to store stuff in Keating. And when that happened, everyone was really mad at them. You know, like we've had this right for like the last 5 years. Why are you suddenly taking it all away? But instead of complaining at them, I listened to the number of folks who are affected by this decision, and then I went to the Keating administration and I learned their point of view and how crowded the courts were getting, how hard it was for individual students to get a space on the court when everyone was reserving it, how messy their storage room was getting, and I came to understand their point of view as well. And in the end, we solved the problem very well. Like instead of having student orders being able to block out 2 5 hours every week, they instead ran a very organized line league tournaments in conjunction with Keating that was organized at a time that was much more convenient for everyone involved. Certainly, not everyone got what they wanted. Keating still had to give a court space, and student orders couldn't meet exactly when they wanted anymore, but people still got some of what they want. I'm trying to accomplish the same thing. I'm seeing that there is a problem that the students see what's in SGA right now. The first step isn't to go in there and tear down SGA. My first step is to get elected and find out what SGA really is doing and how SGA sees the situation from a completely outside point of view, from an unbiased point of view, as opposed from a point of view of someone who's been in SGA the Senate for the past few years. I think that's why I'm qualified for this position, because I can go in there and look at this problem from a different perspective and change it from the ground up if need be.
Thank you. Last question?
This is for all of the candidates. What is your opinion of the ideal role of SGA in the business of student organizations? There was some talk today about the fact that student organizations typically are approved by SGA and then have no interaction ever again. But what is your ideal vision of the interaction of SGA with student organizations? What shape would it take?
Yay! Personally, I feel like SGA, like if they approve an organization or even organizations that are already here on campus, SGA should be about as many events as they possibly can. So if ASO is having a get-together and it's open to all the students and everyone, men from SGA should be there, not just to support and participate in the event, but also to say, hey, we're SGA and we're here to just be around the students. I feel like SGA should be at different events, they should be on the bridge, they should do interactions with the student organizations. If student organizations are having events and we see the flyer, we should check in and say, hey, you guys have anything you need? Do you need any help? How else can we help you to promote your event? I think it should be, like, SGA doesn't really put on events besides like the forums and the president and the public safety forums. So like major events like parties or get-togethers and that kind of thing. So I feel like that is an avenue for SGA to get involved with the students and to see what's going on and go to different diverse aspects of the campus and kind of learn more about the student body that way.
Role and then Leo.
Okay, so as the person that made a comment as to how we can continue the relationship between student organizations and SGA, I am going to be playing my role to some extent. So I said there's a disconnect because immediately after approval, the only thing SGA requires from student organizations is for them to submit supporting documents